now, and I want to watch.
Solidarity, dear comrades, this Socialist Sunday, and welcome to the Sunday Livestream on my left eye. I'm your humble host Lefty. Hope you're all very well this evening. Idiosyncrasy jumping in first into the chat, nice to see you as always. And we have a Doc in the house, Doc Davies, nice to see you as well. Hope you're having a good week. Thanks for choosing to stay out the weekend with us. Get comfortable, there's lots coming up. Do hit the thumbs up / like button as you join us on stream, good people. We're coming to you live from Manchester in the northwest of England, in the United Kingdom of Bollocks, and we'll see what treachery has been going on this week, not just on these isles but within wider spectrums as well. Indeed, the wider world. Thank you. Well, how are you? Do let us know how your week's been in chat. We'll kick off as always by showing some appreciation to the 115. No, actually, that's wrong. Let's start. It's actually 109, I assure you. You can count as we do say thank you to the 109 members. That's Phil's fault. I'll be having words. The 109 members on the way towards the target of 250. We switched to a scroll from this format once we get to 200. It has happened in the past, but here we are at 109 currently. Thank you very much to everybody who's renewed their own memberships recently, gifted to other people as well. That's our preferred way for you to help us out. But there's also a few other methods, a few other ways. So if you're watching live, you can use super chat or super stickers. Even if you're watching a bit behind real time, just as long as it's before the broadcast ends, super chat and stickers are available. Super thanks is available after broadcast, and the Buy Me a Coffee page is there all of the time. That's external from YouTube, but you can find the link in any content on the channel. Just head to the description. After you've perused some quality content, of course. And you'll find the link. And with us, as per every Sunday, you can hear the soothing tones of Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics in the background. Our 4-piece jazz quartet. Always a packed studio here on a Sunday, of course. Got Phil, the silent producer. What is it that you do around here anyway? And the technical IT support team, of course. Various primates, for anybody who's not familiar with those. We've got Caesar, the quiet one, who sits at the back and just sort of observes, as it were. Film claims that he's seen him in the library reading ancient Greek history, but I think that was a tall tale. Maybe a few too many drinks. Not sure what was going on there. But we're all here anyway on Sunday. But we'll try and have a few laughs along with it as well. We've got that sort of intermittent within the content as opposed to bookended comedy clips like we often do. We'll try and keep our spirits up nonetheless.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Darren's in chat as well. Good evening to you, Darren.
Socialists. Oh my God.
A quick couple of channel updates before I go into, well, apparently we have something prepared to illustrate what's coming up on the show, for lack of Keith's Fondue Lounge, of course. This is now is it the second or third week we've been without the Fondue Lounge? Working on a replacement where that's concerned. Don't worry, that will be in place before the start of the next Parliament. This week, of course, we've had just one video out, but do check it out if you've not seen it yet, pertaining to Count Binface and other collection of some of our favourite memes that have been going round concerning the Clacton by-election. Of course, we'll be discussing more about that on the stream, the by-election itself. Got some great stuff, as well as some musical interludes as well with that. Sorry about the problem with the Binface campaign song clip last live stream. We have rectified that now, and we are prepared to play it again, even though we know in hindsight we'll have to remove it from the stream, edit it out because of reasons. We think we've had a bit of a tinker with it, to be honest. We'll see if I can get away with it. And yes, this weekend campaigners have hit Clacton to go and leaflet, knock on doors and campaign for Binface. Is also putting in personal campaign himself. There's another promo video for a particular piece of Clacton heritage where structure and architecture is concerned. So lots to come. This will be the final Sunday live stream before the by-election itself, of course. Polling begins in 4 days' time. It's white hot. And then we'll kind of be without a hot seat, I guess. That's the only one at the moment. Do have another, not perhaps hot, but it's a council election, a council by-election here in Manchester that we're going to take a look at as well, briefly. Aside from that, slim pickings, but you never know. You never know when the next by-election's going to come up. Of course, neoliberal politics constantly mired in scandal. And in actual fact, we hear tell that Nigel Farage didn't realise that the investigation into the £5 million donation can continue after the by-election. You see, he held this in a let the people of Clacton decide kind of way. He thought this was going to be the be-all and end-all of it. Apparently, he didn't know that it won't be. Which makes the whole thing even more ridiculous. More about that to come. So we don't have a fondue lounge or its apt replacement just yet. What have we got instead, Phil? It better be good. Coming up. Will Netanyahu accept Trump's 15-point Gaza peace plan? Spoiler alert. Will he people against genocide target weapon suppliers in Aberdeen?
Nice.
Elon Musk faces another backlash after claiming Hitler was a socialist again. Campaigners hit hot seat Clacton-on-Sea in a final push for Count Binface, and Angela Rayner kicks off her house-building campaign by ignoring local residents and whacking a new data centre on Brick Lane.
This is dreadful.
All that plus more to come on tonight's Sunday livestream.
Very poor indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yes, all of that, plus lots more to come. We hired a professional announcer for that one, as you can tell. In fact, he's the he's the best pronouncer in the world. Ogham the Bold jumping in chat, and Nina Sadie as well. Solidarity. Hope you well. So that's a bit of what's coming up. We're going to start off with a bit of a long fix, actually. We often do Kussenberg nowadays on a Sunday, just one or two of the interview segments, not the full show. But Kussenberg's on holiday, of course, with the parliamentary recess. That's what over £300,000 of Laura Kussenberg buys you as well. Several weeks holiday per year. So we're going to take a look at, apparently Sky News have been out in Jerusalem. Bit of a surprise seeing one of the mainstream media providers actually getting to the core of what's going on in Palestine, specifically in Jerusalem with this. So I've not seen it yet, but I've heard it's worth a watch. So you bloody lucky people are going to watch it along with me. So yes, kicking off with the Gaza latest, of course, as you heard in the coming up thing there. Surprise, surprise, Benjamin Netanyahu didn't agree to Trump's latest peace proposal. You can't really bargain with a man like Netanyahu, with a psychopath, with a maniac like Benjamin Netanyahu. You literally have to remove him by office sorry, you have to remove him from office, either by legal terms or by force. He's actually said it himself. One of the conditions was to recognise Palestine as a state, which Netanyahu said he absolutely, as a hard line, would not do as Prime Minister. So yeah, there's no talking sense into people like that. Zionist genociders, that is. Because they're all freaking maniacs. Yes, he is, idiot. He's a terrible man. Terrible man. Terrible, terrible, terrible man.
Very poor indeed.
We haven't mentioned, obviously, much about that coming up, because that result was expected. So the only real solution, as I said, is to depose Benjamin Netanyahu and the whole corrupt government, who do face a lot of internal domestic pressure. Perhaps that's where the weakest point could lie at the moment, but let's see what's happening with this Sky News report. First time watch for me. Let's see what's happening.
Jerusalem is a city divided like no other. And now that split comes shrouded in rubble, echoing to anger and destruction. This is a story framed by history and religion, shaped by mistrust and coloured by sadness. It's a story of Israelis and Palestinians in a place called Silwan.
There are no words to describe what's going on in this country. It's just sad, terrifying, outrageous.
What we are witnessing in Silwan, large-scale displacement, large-scale demolitions, is Israel going places that we never dared go in the past. I have no alternative but to use the word ethnic cleansing.
A lot of people around here look at that, they see Silwan. What do you see?
Fucking victims is what Zionists see. Well, let's hear from...
I see a Zionist dream unfolding.
Yeah.
If you're asking me, personally, we're not demolishing at the speed that we should.
The dream is a nightmare. This dream, which is completely detached from reality, the concept that a land can be promised to a certain group of people millennia in the future from when it's supposedly supposed to have been promised, is no realistic legal or moral bounds, or grounds, sorry, I should say, for what Israel are carrying out. It is ethnic cleansing, as just described. It's a genocide. If your dream includes the complete displacement of a population of a country, as well as hundreds of thousands of victims, then you're a psychopath. If that is your remit, if that is your goal, your ambition, how can you not take a look at yourself and think, maybe I'm the bad guy here, maybe I'm the bad person, maybe this ideology is actually pretty psychotic. Maybe, in a really ironic, twisted, fucked up sense, this ideology is actually the same ideology that led to the mass displacement of Jews during the 1930s and 1940s, and is in fact an insult to their suffering. It's an insult to the victims of the Holocaust, whose survivors and the forebears of their survivors today denounce Israel's actions and join pro-Gaza marches, not just here in the UK, but across the world. If that's the dream, then fuck your dream. We're not interested in your dream. There is literally no way that you can morally excuse it whatsoever. And yeah, that's within the Geneva Convention as well as multiple other legislation within international law.
We need to tear down every building that is illegal and to build something nice.
This is Silwan in East Jerusalem. It's a tight-knit neighborhood of narrow alleys and close friendships where neighbors all know each other. And where, so we're told, when a family finds a home they like, they tend to stay for decades. Some say centuries.
This is unfortunately.
Fakhri seems to know everyone around Silwan, home to tens of thousands of Palestinians and a small growing community of Israeli settlers. He's lived here since he was born 64 years.
If there is one term that I really loathe and abhor, it is settlers, which is obviously, you know, the word settle implies some sort of calmness, I guess, some sort of placidness as well. Just settling here, you know, dust settles, snow settles, this sort of thing. No, they don't settle. They come crashing in violently. They literally, physically remove people from their fucking homes and then either steal them or tear them down to build other ones. That's land theft. Settlement is a phrase that you could use if, let's say, somebody literally discovered a place for the very first time, and very obviously doesn't happen now in the 21st century. We've had several centuries of global seafaring discovery, etc., even going way back further than that. But let's say it happened and you did discover an area of land that had been uninhabited by humans before, then yes, you could say that you settled there. And you can apply the same to obviously the European pilgrimages to the New World, which has now become America, settled here, or they just happened to, you know, steal the natives' land, destroy their food source so that they could take over an entire continent. I really can't stand the phrase settled, and I wish that the mainstream media would cotton on and use the actual appropriate terms, because it's a violent overthrowing of a people. Oh, yes, let's just settle here. There's no one, we won't disturb anybody. Let's just settle here nice and peacefully, nice and, you know, we're not getting in anybody's way, are we? That's the end of that mini rant, I guess.
Years ago, his children and his grandchildren lived with him. But 2 years ago, the city council sent a bulldozer, protected by a squad of police officers, to demolish his home, insisting it had no planning permission.
There you go.
Fakhri was left with a pile of rubble. His family had to move away. His wife and he were left behind, traumatised. This is 2 years you've been looking at your house, and it's...
Imagine coming home to this. Literally imagine it. Imagine how you'd feel. Imagine the sense of injustice that you would have in your heart over these are people's homes. Very few things in life are sacred, depending on whether you're a person of faith or not, but I think that we can all agree that people's homes and sanctuaries are sacred, or should be seen as sacred, should they not? Cool Cat's in the chat as well. Nice point, just easy on the caps there, if you can, please. Nice to see you in chat. Comrie also with us. Solidarity. I'll continue with this. Try not to get too triggered. It's very easy, obviously. Long-term viewers will know this is a topic very close to my heart. So, as I'm sure it is yours as well. But yeah, just try and put yourself in their shoes, because there is no justifying this kind of behaviour.
Destroyed.
They not just destroyed my house, destroyed my family, destroyed my past, my history, and my future for my children and grandchildren.
Fakhri and his wife now live in a mobile home on the site. The municipality says that one day it will come back to demolish this too. Fakhri has installed security cameras so the couple can see when a bulldozer is arriving to knock down their home. Outside, they have bags packed for the moment they have to flee. Where will you go?
That's no way to live, is it? That really is no way to live. How can you live in peace within your own domicile, knowing that that's just around the corner or just outside your door? Cool Cats, yeah, apologies if you have to use caps because you're visually impaired. That's cool, of course. We do have other viewers. The shouty bloke actually has to use caps, but as long as it's for medical reasons, that's fine, and it's not just shouting for the sake of it. Yeah, don't worry about that. That's all cool. But you'll find no ableism here from us.
When that day comes,
I will be in the street. I have nowhere to go. I will be homeless, me and my wife. And I don't know. Maybe I sleep in my car. I have a car. Me and my wife maybe sleep in the car. I don't know. I have no place to go. Nowhere to go.
This area is now dotted with vacant, rubble-strewn sites where houses have been torn down, even though people were still living there.
And because, obviously, there are Christian and Jewish communities in Jerusalem, it's a whole sort of hodgepodge. It's not been subject to the sort of carpet bombing style of war crimes that we've seen in places like Gaza City, Khan Yunis, and Rafah, for example. Because, of course, there'd be a lot of what the Israelis would see as capital damage, and this is, of course, Jerusalem, which is considered, of course, a spiritual and holy place by all three of the Abrahamic religions. So they can't just do what they've done in Gaza. This is a lot more meticulous, if you want to put it that way, directly and individually targeting families and neighbourhoods, of course, but it's still the purest evil.
This is a vivid touchstone to the roiling tensions between Israelis and Palestinians, where history and mistrust always survive the ruins. The Jerusalem municipality says that houses like Fakhri's don't have planning permission, even if they've been here for decades. Many have been knocked down, more will follow. What's happening here is a reflection of the tension and conflict that runs through this city on a daily basis. That's East Jerusalem, and according to most of the world, it's occupied Palestinian territory. But in reality, Israel annexed this whole area nearly 60 years ago.
Oh, he actually used the word annex. Well, yeah, so they don't really have the right to say who does or doesn't have planning permission, then, do they? If you want to go back to, obviously he's referring to the huge pogroms in 1967. The catastrophe.
Been running it according to its own laws ever since. And here in Silwan, those tensions are being played out on the ground. Israeli authorities want to demolish dozens of homes here and replace them with a new public park. This is the plan. Now, it would see, for instance, Fakhri's house here being knocked down and turned into part of a new car park. The authorities insist that all of these buildings
the Nakba car park,
illegal.
is that what they're going to call it?
Have got planning permission. Palestinian residents like Fakhri tell us it's impossible for them to get planning approval. The council says this plan is all about regeneration and improvement. So, for instance, just here is a notice saying that this land will be taken and turned into part of what they're calling King's Gardens, a visitor attraction that would see trees and garden and landscaping all around here. They say it's about respect for rules and treasuring heritage. Their critics say this is a fig leaf to expel Palestinian families and to extend Israeli control of this city.
And what, as an educated journalist, does this guy think it probably is? Israel's only existed since 1948, with as many Bibles, Torahs at me as you like. I'm not going to be convinced by any theocratic literature, really. It's only existed since 1948. In fact, originally it was going to be in North Africa. So originally, North Africa was apparently going to be the sacred holy land of the Jewish faith according to Zionists and Zionism, which of course it isn't. Judaism's a religion. It's free to be practiced all over the world now. And just on that point, before I forget, I'll remind you that it's by far the least practiced of the three Abrahamic faiths. There's over 1 billion Christians, mostly in South America and Europe. You have over 1 billion Muslims. You also have hundreds of millions of Hindus and Sikhs. The total number of people on the planet currently practicing Judaism is 15 million. About 6 of those are in Israel. About 6 million of those are in Israel.
We're sent this, a video of another demolition that's happening. By the time we arrive, the work has finished. Well, the bulldozers have gone now. They only spent a few hours here, but you can see the complete destruction that they've caused. It looks like there's been an airstrike here, or maybe an earthquake. And now these people are starting the Herculean, probably hopeless task of trying to make something out of the rubbles.
Whilst you wander around and talk crap to the camera for 5 or 10 minutes. Comrie, a good point there about this being a political thing, not a religious thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's why Israel was created as a state. In the first place, of course, to act at the behest of the United States of America for their, air quotes, interests in the Middle East. That's just about the sum total of what it's all about. And it's been a horrific experiment that has gone horribly and tragically wrong. And now a stop has got to be put to this 80-year-old dystopian nightmare.
But this wasn't an earthquake. What happened here was planned, and it was done very deliberately. Silwan is now a place haunted by anxiety, by the sense that time...
Cool cats, no, I do know the difference between a country and a religion. In fact, I point that out quite a lot. Yeah. That's all I'll say at the moment.
Is running out.
But I'll give you fair warning if, if there's any sort of accusations coming my way. My point as well is to point out that Israel doesn't speak on behalf of all Jews, because most of them live outside of Israel, is part of what I was saying as well.
بطلع الحي هذا لأنه بعني لي، لأنه صار بطلع ما في بلاقي، يعني ما بلاقي العرب، ما بلاقي جيراني الأصليين، فبطلع بتأثر، يعني بلاقيهم هم بتحركوا أكتر في حركة. طبعا مش كل يوم بقعد، بس لما أحس حالي إني اتضايقت أنا من جوا، يعني بدخل على بيتي بحس إنه هذا يمكن بكرة أو بعده أو بعد شهر يكون مش إلي هذا البيت، يمكن هم ياخدوه. أنا بالهوية عنواني سلوان. لما ياخدوا بيتي وين عنواني؟ وين عنواني؟ بدي عنوان. فلسطينية بدون عنوان.
So what's going on? When we talk to people here, there's a name that pops up regularly. Aryeh King, the deputy mayor of Jerusalem, the man widely held responsible for leading this demolition plan.
Aryeh
He
King.
rarely speaks to the British media, but he did agree to meet us, and he was unapologetic and forthright about Silwan's future, where he wants to build a park that harks back to the days of King David.
This guy's a fucking nutter.
3,000 years ago.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Just hear that again.
He rarely speaks to the British media, but he did agree to meet us, and he was unapologetic and forthright about Silwan's future, where he wants to build a park that harks back to the days of King David 3,000 years ago. What's your vision?
Oh, goodness me. Right, well that's that dealt with in the chat. As for this guy on the screen, that's just pure deluded nonsense. You're forcing people out of the homes because it says in a book that there was a park there 3,000 years ago, but there's probably like zero archaeological evidence for that whatsoever. And also the fact that it's coming from a fucking white European guy. Yeah, if you want to put that whole 3,000 year thing to bed, you just have to get out a DNA testing kit, and they'll soon go quiet when it comes to finding out where they're really from.
What do you think the whole area of Silwan should look like in 20 years' time?
My vision is that it will be like a kind of a artist.
Right, sorry, Cool Cats. That's about the line. I'm not going to have any more of that in the chat. Can Cool Cats off for half an hour.
Neighborhood with atmosphere that you can walk there, take a cup of coffee.
Sorry about that,
tea,
people.
Sitting on the street, like you go into the old city.
You leave me with no other choice.
In Stockholm, for example.
How is that moral, to deny homes to people who have lived there for multiple generations?
Nobody there.
Because I'm a Zionist maniac, facts don't matter to me. Haven't you seen the flag? I've got flags. Don't need fucking facts here.
Living for multiple generations. Nobody.
There's a man who's lived there for 40 years.
40 years is multiple generation?
Yes, it is. It is. So in 40 years, he's had children, which is another generation, which would make it multiple generations. It's his house. It's his house. They really don't know how to argue, do they, Zionists? We've seen so many examples on the last stream. We saw that woman who was completely dumbfounded by the question about the equality of one life compared to another. And now this from this guy. Didn't get the name. Not certain if it was said in the story. I've certainly not committed it to the memory. I just number various douchebags. Douchebag number 11,432, whatever he is.
Well, he's had his grandchildren there.
He's got grandchildren, so that's 3 generations. 3, then, grandchildren.
He said.
He says he's just following the precedent set when the Ottomans and then the British ruled Jerusalem.
Oh, for fuck. Ottomans? Get a fucking globe out. The Ottoman Empire hasn't existed since the end of fucking World War I, you silly bastard. The Ottoman Empire. Fucking hell. It's Turkey, now. It's Turkey, Well, obviously... Oh, Jesus Christ. So even if you accept that, what makes it legitimate that those 2 countries can decide what happens in a third country? Even if that was over 100 years ago, man. These people are fucking something else, aren't they? They really are.
From the time of the Turkish, that didn't allow anybody to build there, because the Turkish understood how much this is an important area and holy place, And after that, after the Turkish...
Fucking Constantinople's Istanbul now. Get with the fucking program.
The British, the same, didn't allow anybody to build in this area for the same reason.
It's not for them to say what gets built in Palestine. It's for fucking Palestinians to say. And Palestine has existed since fucking ancient Egypt. So you can throw your 3,000-year-old shit out of the window. The fucking Assyrians, the ancient Egyptians, the Romans, even Genghis fucking Khan would have called it Palestine. Fuck me.
Arab that you're talking about, they're lying. But you don't need to be surprised. It's okay.
All this evidence is a lie, because I'm going to point at my computer screen.
Okay to lie if you are a Muslim.
And I've got a flag.
Part of your culture.
He's not a Muslim. The interviewer's not. I'm not a Muslim either. I can see the truth.
Muslims have...
And obviously a lot of people within Judaism see it as well. The real, actual Jews, not this Zionist fucking freak show.
East Jerusalem would find that incredibly offensive that you're generalising that they're liars.
I'm not saying that.
You just did it. You just said it.
It's not me saying that.
It's not you. Oh, it's just that the book says it and you're reading from the fucking book. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. And when you get there, fuck off some more.
Fuck off.
Read the Quran. Read the Hadith. Why you? I'm not saying that. I'm quoting their book.
Wait, right, you're going to quote their book, and then I suppose another time when it conveniences you, you're going to say that the book is a lie, that the Quran's a lie, that the Holy Bible is a lie as well. Well, you have it Yahweh. I'm going to have it mine.
Islamic scholars broadly reject this characterization. Islamic teaching prohibits lying, with only narrow, unrelated exceptions. King's plan comes at a price, and that price is often borne by the people who are losing their homes.
The families who used to live here fought a long battle with the local authority, but in the end they decided it was hopeless. They knew they were beaten. And because the authority was going to charge them so much to demolish these buildings, those families then decided to pay out of their own pocket to hire a firm to demolish their own homes.
The ripples of this spread out. Watching from next door are Ayat and Mohammed.
The really sad part about it is that the part that they don't have anywhere to go. This is the sad part about it, is that they're homeless. It's sad. It's terrible.
Yeah, when things were at the height of fisticuffs recently between Iran and Israel, quite a lot of the population could conveniently go to the airport in Tel Aviv and go back home to America or go back home to Europe. But Palestinians don't have that convenience because they are from there, aside from the fact that, of course, they don't have an airport. That went long before the escalation post-October 23 happened as well. And they don't have any functioning ports either.
Terrifying. It's scary. Also for us, our house is going to be demolished. The last court they gave us is probably November 4th, they said. But the scary part about it is they said that they might come before.
When you hear that, what does it mean to you? What does that sound mean?
It's heartbreaking for me. His turn is coming.
Is it the sound of your future? I mean, is that your fear? That this is going to happen to you?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
ممكن تشرحي لي ايات؟ رايتي؟ It's okay.
You can't imagine what that's like to have to stand there and watch that happening to you, your people, your neighbours, then eventually you as well. Poor lady.
There are no words to describe what's going on in this country. It's just sad, terrifying, outrageous, heartbreaking.
What this process is doing is creating two distinct camps. On one side are Israeli Jews and the Jerusalem Council.
The Zionists, they're not really Jews. The Orthodox Jews run the IDF out of Jerusalem, as we saw recently. Well, Dominic Jones is in the chat. Nice to see you. Good evening, comrade. Solidarity. But yeah, they're the two camps. The two camps are life and death. There are your two camps.
On the other, the Palestinians, who now find themselves
freedom
under
and oppression.
And this is part of a bigger picture. Israel has occupied nearly 2/3 of Gaza and is establishing ever more settlements in the West Bank. So is this a story?
Illegal annexations, less of the settlements, please.
Of ever more expansion into Palestinian territory.
This is the epicenter.
Lawyer Danny Seidemann is one of the world's leading experts on the legal and political status of Jerusalem.
What we are witnessing in Silwan, large-scale displacement, large-scale demolitions, is Israel going places that we never dared go in the past. Is the displacement of Palestinians in order to be replaced by biblically motivated settlers in order to establish the hegemony of a very specific biblical Jewish narrative which marginalizes Islam and Christianity in Jerusalem, fragments Palestinian East Jerusalem, and transforms Jerusalem into a place that is unlike anything we've witnessed in the past.
But the threat to Silwan's residents isn't just about the municipality's plans for a park. It's also about those who look to the past.
Well, behind these tall, imposing walls is a synagogue, which is the last visible sign of a Yemenite Jewish community who lived here in the 1930s and then were forced to leave during violent unrest. But today there's a trust that says that because of that community, it still owns this land. It's a claim that's been largely backed by the Israeli courts, and it's opened the door for a settler organisation to try to take over many of the homes in this area. Now that is hugely controversial.
It's hugely illegal, is what it is. That's a criminal organisation.
Actually, for Palestinian families who say they have lived in this area for centuries.
But the man behind it is resolute. He wants Jewish families to take over these homes, and he sees hope where others see division.
A lot of people around here look at that, they see Silwan. What do you see?
I see a Zionist dream unfolding. When I look at that, I see that I'm part of correcting a historical injustice.
Got fucking Helen Mirren here, who thinks it's absolutely beautiful to see people thrown out of the homes. Oh, but look, isn't it beautiful to see the creation of this new country?
But that is not
Fuck
Silwan,
off.
that's Shiloach. It's Kfar HaTeimanim, the Yemenite village of Shiloach.
No, it
so
isn't.
Before the world talks about Silwan...
It's Silwan. It's Silwan all day and all fucking night.
Let's be historically correct and honest and ethical. That is purely a Yemenite village built from 1882 onwards. Yes, of course it became Silwan, it's referred to as Silwan today.
And we're living in today and in the now, so that's the end of the matter. He's stuck in the past, fucking psychopath.
But I live in the world of honesty and truth.
You live in a fantasy world, which, as described, if you have to displace and murder people to reach your dream, automatically qualifies you as a psycho.
Cleansing, and that today is being corrected by Jews returning home.
Zuhair Rajabi knows the battle and the history. Daniel Loure's organisation has already threatened him with eviction several times. Many of his neighbours have already moved out. A Palestinian district is now speckled with Israeli flags. And he says what many here echo, that the tension is getting worse and worse.
ما بعد 7/10/2023 تحول الشيء. بدأوا بأوامر إخلاءات، الهجمة الشرسة ضد المواطن، اعتبروا لأنه كل من هو فلسطيني هو إرهابي، وهو يجب طرده من فلسطين، وهو يجب طرده من القدس، وهو يجب إبعاده عن المنطقة.
We did try repeatedly to talk to the Israeli settlers who have chosen to move in here, to ask them their motivation.
Illegal annexers, not settlers, of course, once again. Left of the Box, welcome to the stream. Everybody go and check out Left of the Box's YouTube channel as well. Solidarity. Nice to see you.
Few answered. Those who did respond didn't want to talk.
It's just a quick one. لما أتبخ لغوركان.
No.
No? Not a word. No? למה أتبخر לגורקן?
אתה רוצה שאני אתקשר למשטרה על הטרדה? אז בסדר, אז תמשיך, אני אתקשר למשטרה על הטרדה. או שתעזוב אותי וזהו.
Emotions are heightened on these streets, but could there be a middle ground, a compromise?
No.
Aria King tells me the mayor of Jerusalem offered to build alternative accommodation if Palestinians left their homes.
Why don't you go and live in the alternative accommodation then? Problem solved, because they're their homes. Ridiculous. That's such an insult as well. No, I think they want to live in their houses in Palestine, like any other reasonable person would do. Bilderberg's in chat as well, celebrating 10 months of membership. Nice to see you. Always nice to see someone celebrating a month anniversary as well. Solidarity.
We as a municipality came
Back to this nut
came
job.
to them, willing to compromise with them. That you will not find any way, any kind of compromising like that anywhere in Jerusalem. The Arabs, instead of adopting and hugging him and adopting his idea, rejected it.
Because they want to keep their homes.
Yeah. That's why they'd reject it.
It's not their own.
They live at the moment.
It's not their own.
It is. So fuck off.
It's illegal home. It's belong to the.
You're breaking the Geneva Convention.
To the municipality.
And that
breaking the Geneva
determination to
Convention.
stay is clear. Zuhair says he was offered the equivalent of $10 million for his home and turned it down.
المستوطنين ادعوا لأنه
Which he has a right to
طبعا
do.
قاعدين في هذه الأرض بدون علم وبدون معرفة. فإحنا من أجل ذلك معنا أوامر نخليقه من البيوت مقابل تعويض مالي. طبعا رفضنا، عرضوا علينا، أنا قلت لك بالسابق وبحكي لك، عرضوا علي أنا شخصيا تشيك مفتوح من مليون ل30 مليون، رفضت.
This is a complex situation for lots of reasons.
It's not complex at all. It's just fucking land theft. It's illegal. There's no legal complex or moral complex whatsoever. It's just a bunch of nut jobs openly stealing people's homes and getting away with it. That's as complex as it gets.
Firstly, because for most of the world, this is occupied Palestinian territory, which means that Israel...
It's not for most of the world, it is. It just is. Because they weren't there before 1948, and now they are.
should not be demolishing homes. That, according to many nations, runs completely against international law. But the fact is that here on the ground, Israel is in complete control. And this isn't a conflict that's in a deadlock. It's quite clear that it's going in one direction, and that is the direction that Israel wants it to go. A lot of the world, Daniel, says this is occupied territory.
It is.
That
Case
Israel
closed.
shouldn't even be claiming ownership of this, far less moving its people in here and displacing people already living
You're
here.
talking about the world.
I'm talking about the United Nations.
You know, no, so we can
Yeah.
call that the world. The United Nations, the world.
It's called the United Nations. Yes, it's called the fucking United Nations. Used to be called the League of Nations. that is everybody, every recognised state in the world, about 200 or so, including Palestine. So you say the whole world, yes, it's literally Israel's word versus the rest of the world. That is literally what it is. Can you cram that into your cranium?
The world is the most hypocritical body that is also anti-Semitic, that has a disproportionate amount of resolutions against Israel when there are tragedies, nightmares, murders, annihilation all around the world, and this beautiful nation, the most ethical army in the world, there are resolutions against Israel. And when it comes to occupation, the United Nations...
Very poor indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Everyone who opposes our illegal annexation is anti-Semitic, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Just doesn't wash anymore.
And doesn't act on anti-Semitic impulse, understands that, first of all, the Jewish people can't be illegal occupiers of their own land.
It isn't their land, which is why they are the illegal occupiers.
That was the biggest load of crap I've ever heard.
Who wants to reclaim property abandoned by Jews who fled persecution many decades ago?
Should Muslims be able to reclaim Spain? Because Spain used to be a Muslim country. If you want to make... It was just atypical, ridiculous nonsense from that guy, wasn't it?
But that's an option that Palestinians don't have. There's no mechanism for them to reclaim homes that were lost to Israeli expansion. For many, it adds...
Oh, fuck, that's such a fucking obvious... Definitely not. It's the same person on a different account. God.
To the sense of oppression. The Geneva Conventions say you cannot destroy communities in occupied territory without a military imperative. And for some that leads to a profound question about whether Palestinians are being systematically removed. Would you characterise that as ethnic cleansing?
Yes.
I have avoided the term ethnic cleansing for years. I try and stay away from the radioactive terms. There were 69,000 Palestinians in East Jerusalem in 1967. There are 400,000 Palestinians today. That is not a population that is being ethnically cleansed. However, when I look at what's happening in Silwan, I have no alternative.
That's bullshit.
But to use the word ethnic cleansing, it appears to me to be technically correct and a moral imperative to say so.
Those numbers don't stack up. But he contradicted himself there. It is what? You can't say it's ethnic cleansing, but it is.
Back in Silwan, surrounded by...
I'm going to try and check that out.
By the rubble of the house where he was born, Fakhri knows that one day, even this temporary home will be demolished. Do you have any hope at all?
Unfortunately, I have nothing. No hope, nothing, because when we are speak, every day the police come in, every day the bulldozer come in. No body in the world can tell Israel to be under the international law. Every time Israel above the international law. And they do what they want.
This is a city that's been carved by conflict and conquest again and again over the centuries. Once it was armies at the heart of the fight. Now it is plans.
Yeah, it's 38% of the population makes up Jerusalem. Most of them live in East Jerusalem after the annexation. It says it's 365,000 there at the moment. But obviously was the illegal annexation in the 60s.
Maps.
in the Nakba.
Bulldozers and the haunting fear of what tomorrow may bring.
Right. That's the end of the reports. You see the mindsets of the kind of people once again that we're dealing with here. It's not just the people at the top, the Netanyahus, Ben-Gvir's, Smotrich, all of those ghouls. It's the wider cult of Zionism, really. The same way as far-right ideology had to be washed out of Central Europe in the 1940s. Yeah. But sticking with Gaza next, we're going to check out something, a bit more information on the stand-down order, which we know was obviously issued prior to the October 23 attacks. So this comes from Truth in Media and Ben Swan. Just a bit of a report that came by recently. It's actually from back in 2024, but it does point out, of course, with that happening fairly recently when this clip was made, does point out how Israel not only knew that the Hamas attacks were coming, but facilitated and funded them, as we've come to learn as well. And when they weren't killing Israelis as quick as they'd hoped, the IDF then started to fire upon their own citizens. So let's hear from Ben Swan on Truth in Media.
Before we dive into the evidence that suggests there was some type of military stand-down order on October 7th, it's important to remember that Israel is just slightly bigger than the size of the state of New Jersey. But for some reason, once the Hamas attacks began, the time it took the Israeli army and rescue teams to arrive, fight, and rescue Israelis at the different kibbutz communities and sites being attacked, well, that ranged anywhere from 4 hours to more than 20 hours. Even the New York Times is reporting, quote, thousands of soldiers were less than 40 minutes from the towns that were under attack. So why did it take so long for help to arrive? For example, Kibbutz Be'eri was under siege by Palestinian militants beginning around 6 a.m. That was the morning of October 7th. A video that Israeli media obtained from an army helicopter, corroborated by Israeli survivors, proves that there were more than 500 Israeli soldiers directly outside of the kibbutz entrance, fully armed with Humvees and tanks, but not until 4:30 in the afternoon. That's 10 hours after the attack began. It took 10 hours for those soldiers to show up, but it gets stranger because the first rescue mission wasn't actually underway at Kibbutz Be'eri, again, according to Israeli media, until almost 7 p.m. That's 13 hours after the attack began. Atzival, a survivor of the Be'eri attack, described to Haaretz, quote, 500 soldiers stood outside with equipment and vehicles. I remember yelling at them, we're being slaughtered, come in, save us. And no one said anything. So why? In our last episode, we discussed the Nova Music Festival. We showed you that the party was approved last minute, despite multiple warnings of a violent incursion from Gaza. And we've discussed how days before the festival, 2 entire brigades of soldiers were taken away from the area of the Gaza border and then sent to the West Bank. And you might think that immediately upon receiving information of a devastating attack on partygoers, military authorities would alert units to immediately exit their bases, race to the site of the conflict, and go on the counterattack, right? But that's not what happened. Haaretz reported, quote, at 7 a.m., the party organizer called Lieutenant Colonel Elad Zendani, the man tasked with approving the festival, and told him that terrorists were shooting the partygoers. He suggested that they fend for themselves. The first IDF forces arrived at the party scene at 3 p.m. That's 8 hours for a response time for one of the most efficient, capable, and well-militarized security forces in the world, operating in a country the size of New Jersey, with their Gaza division only a few miles away.
And the only thing that was happening at the time, instead of going on the attack there, instead, they just started to randomly attack Gaza.
What makes it even more strange, around 4 hours into the Hamas assault at 10:46 a.m., Israel was already launching operations and bombing targets inside of Gaza.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let that sink in.
So there's all this going on at the Nova Music Festival. They didn't send anybody there for up to 22 hours. But they were very quick. I mean, that just shows you the ideology as well. Like, what the fuck?
If Israel could begin an offensive attack into Gaza within 4 hours, why did it take more than 6 hours? In most cases, more than 10 hours, and in some cases, 20 hours to mobilize inside their own country to stop the ongoing attack, to defend the lives of their own people. Jonathan Pollard is an Israeli American. He's a former National Security Agency employee. He served 30 years in federal prison for giving classified information to Israel. Of course, you should always be skeptical of the claims of a former spy, but on a podcast, Pollard seems to suggest there was a military stand-down order in place on October 7th. And considering all the evidence, it makes sense.
I had friends who were helicopter pilots, attack pilots, who were sitting in their cockpits ready to take off, fully loaded, ready to stop them at the fence. And they didn't get their orders for 6 hours. They could hear it. They could hear the fighting. They were called by friends in the border kibbutzim in Mosavim that were being overrun and slaughtered, saying, help us, please, they're killing our children. They weren't given permission to take off. That will haunt my friends for the rest of his life.
The New York Times quoted Ben Zion, an Israeli military reservist who spoke to Israeli media. He said his unit voluntarily left central Israel in a convoy at 1:30 p.m. They got together and they left for the south on their own. He expected to see the roads packed with soldiers and equipment and armored vehicles heading south. Quote, the roads were empty, he recalled in an interview. Roughly 7 hours into the fighting, he turned to the reservists next to him and asked, where's the IDF? Now, we've thrown a lot of information at you here, so let's sum up the timeline. At 6 a.m., Hamas began their violent assault on southern Israel by launching hundreds of rockets and then breaching the border. At 10 a.m., the Israeli defense minister announced that Israel is at war.
That's 4 hours.
30 minutes later, the Israeli military announced it was already identifying and bombing targets inside of Gaza.
That just basically means civilian infrastructure at random, of course. Oh yeah, it was a hummus intelligence center, of course, and command and control.
And from there, it took anywhere from 4 hours to 10 hours for army units to arrive, and then sometimes another 4 hours to 10 hours for them to actually engage the militants and begin to save Israelis. Now, between the trove of concrete evidence that suggests Israeli military allowed October 7th to happen by ignoring dozens of reliable and specific warnings, threatening soldiers with legal actions who tried to warn their military superiors, and taking troops away from the area of the Gaza border that was attacked, and now evidence that suggests there was some type of military stand-down order in place on October 7th, it's important to ask, what was October 7th? And what kind of war is the United States supporting? The brutal and deadly Hamas terrorist attack of October 7th is so central in justifying Israel's ongoing war in Gaza that Israel is actually outlawing questioning the October 7th government narrative. Israelis who spread information counter to the October 7th government narrative, which the Israeli Knesset calls falsehoods and propaganda, could face up to 5 years in prison. Why are they doing that?
Good question, and good report there from Ben Swan, Truth in Media. We've brought that up before, and the evidence continues to mount. And just one more thing, cool cats, if you needed capital letters due to a visual impairment on the original account, why not on the secondary account, which was clearly also you as well? Back on topic though.
On with it.
Let's end on a positive. Where Gaza's concerned, over here in the UK, there's been another attack at a company called Eltra, which are suppliers to Elbit Systems. This time, a new group, People Against Genocide. That's up in Scotland, up in Aberdeen. And they've got some sort of headcam style footage from the action. Let's see what's happening. Just generally fucking shit up there, as you can see up in Aberdeen. And it's our understanding that they're still occupying the facility, or at least they were just before we came on stream with you here. Not certain exactly how many people are involved in this non-violent direct action itself. But again, citizens of the UK saying that they will not stand for the complicity, they will not stand for arms companies who continue to contribute to the genocide in Gaza. So that's People Against Genocide. They're targeting Ultra up in Aberdeen.
Jurassic Park.
All right, people. We're going to actually dive into the past next with an old article. What is it, about 88 years old? That's been brought to our attention. But that will segue us on to Elon Musk. And this ridiculous claim he's made, possibly not for the first time, as well, concerning where a certain former German Chancellor used to sit on the political spectrum. Speaking of that, first of all, this is from the Daily Herald in 1938, and this is pretty good here. Just let me read this one out to you. I wish things got reported like this these days. 12 boys, wrote fascists. 12 boys, some of them less than 10 years old, went to Weymouth Beach and barracked Mr. Robert Sanders, a fascist speaker. He ignored them, So they went away and returned with toffee tins half filled with stones. Using the tins as rattles, they made so much noise that Mr. Arthur England, a 63-year-old Weymouth magistrate and superintendent of the breach, approached to stop them. The crowd of holidaymakers, sympathetic with the children, booed Mr. England, and a sock filled with sand caught him behind the ear. About 3,000 people followed them to their car, overturned the trailer attached to it, and filled the loudspeaker equipment with sand. That was down in Weymouth back in August of 1938. I love the bit. So they came back with toffee tins half filled with stones, which kind of leads you to think it might go one way, but it doesn't. That was just purely to create noise. Yeah, like that old Pathé footage from the 60s. Yeah. As well. Of Mosley being run out of town. So well done. Well, unfortunately, I'll assume that none of the participants are with us any longer, let alone listening to this stream. But let history repeat itself. Perhaps in Clacton instead of Weymouth. Of course, another coastal town. We'll be coming on to more from Clacton very shortly. But speaking of far-right dickheads, he's been at it again. Yes, apparently De Fuhrer was a left-wing socialist. Yeah, he's retweeted someone called Alice Smith, who thinks that you can define that by identity politics, collectivism and statism. Perhaps flunking out within the first weeks of enrolling on a sociology course. But it is, of course, easily debunkable nonsense. For a multitude of reasons. Clearly, of course, Hitler sat on the authoritarian right side of the spectrum as a fascist. Just use the word socialist in National Socialist to try and dupe members of the working class. But in terms of policy, in terms of ideology, was of course the complete opposite, which is why so many socialists, Marxists, Leninists, etc. ended up in concentration camps alongside members of the clergy, members of non-Christian faith as well. And this was put together pretty well by Double Down News. We're going to see a clip here. But yeah, I think the guy, Musk, should just pretty much stay as far away from politics as possible from now on. You'd think someone who was supposedly on paper worth $1 trillion might find better things to do with the time, but narcissists are gonna narcissist, I guess. So do go and check out Double Down News, an excellent source of alternative media. If you're not au fait with them already, this is just a short clip summarising why Elon Musk's post on Twitter is absolute cack.
Hitler was a socialist like North Korea is democratic. Hitler called his party the National Socialist Party largely to get working class votes from the actual socialists. While Hitler was alive, I don't think anybody referred to him as left-wing. Why did that change and how? People on the right want to disavow the obvious direction their ideas are coming from. As I say in every great lie, there's always some tiny kernel of truth. The tiny kernel of truth is that Hitler did co-opt certain policies from the left. to a large degree, the right tends to take certain things from the left and then repackage them in some horrific form and throw them back again. The idea of the mass party, the youth group, even some of the social policies that Hitler pursued were stolen from the left. And in a similar way, the right wing now is engaged in a similar process. One reason why right-wing populists are gaining traction in a lot of places is they're the only people who are allowed, who are perceived to be allowed, to actually promote socialistic policies. They say, yes, we're all for good pensions, we're all for social security.
Idiosyncrasy, nice shooting there in the chat with a gifted membership. It's always nice to see someone who's with us live receiving that as well. So Comrie is now the 110th member of the channel. We'll update the target. Let's big up idiosyncrasy in the chat, please, everybody. Nice shot. Bullseye.
Security. We're all for health care, but just for white people, right? Kick those migrants out there trying to steal our social benefits, right? So there is a sense, and this is perhaps like what's being played on here, that only the right is allowed to give a little, sprinkling of left-wing policies. And one reason that poor people will vote for right-wing populism as opposed, for Johnson rather than Corbyn, is not because they're unaware that Corbyn is offering more, but they don't think Corbyn's going to be allowed to do it, right? They think maybe, if the right-wing guy comes in, even though he's offering a lot less, he might be allowed to deliver by whoever it is who's really running things, which nobody really knows.
That was, Gary Graeber, who died in 2020. Was that 6 years ago? Excellent commentator, excellent sociologist. Obviously, he knew his stuff. Elon Musk isn't the first person to have suggested that Hitler was left-wing. Of course, complete bollocks. Well said there, and certainly a loss to the social sciences, David Graeber. Yeah, Musk should stick to making craters on the moon. Good point there, Darren. Ogham, even 70s Soviets landed on the moon. On Venus. Surviving briefly, of course, under the extreme conditions there. But a successful voyage nonetheless. Of course, sent the first man into space, Yuri Gagarin. The first probe into space. The first dog as well. But he should, Musk. It's back to Musk. Stick with your other failures. Because if you think SpaceX is still going to be worth over $1 trillion in 5 years, I've got some pretty bad news. For anybody who doesn't know about that, by the way, essentially he's managed to get that air quotes wealth by being valued for providing things that he hasn't done yet for SpaceX's promises, which he assures people will definitely come true, so it's definitely worth paying for them up front. Mars colonies, never going to happen. Bring that matter to a close now. Get on to hot seats. See what the latest is in Clacton. Hope this will cheer you up as well. Bit of comedy and music as well. Make sure you hit thumbs up if you've just joined us on stream recently as well.
Down with it. Yes, get on with it! Get on with it!
Just 4 days to go. Let's see what's going down in Clacton-on-Sea.
Today, I will resign as a Member of Parliament for Clacton-on-Sea, thereby forcing a by-election.
Yes, that was a fine dissolve. We've got a few things to go through. Clacton-on-Sea. A bit of a spoiler in the chat. Well, it's not really a spoiler. We did say we'd attempt this again on the stream. Yes, we'll be having the campaign song yet again. But first of all, a few other matters. We'll sort of build up to that. That's not the only thing that's been taking place. There's been a projection out over the weekend as well, with bin phase policies for all to see. This is actually quite nice. It's got some soothing music with it as well. Let's see what's going down. Clacton Town. Oh yeah. Great. Nice. Adele. Smooth. Oh yeah. You're gonna vote for bin face. This isn't just any by-election. This is the Clacton-on-Sea by-election. Some soothing tunes by the sea there. Don't worry, Herbie, we still like you guys in your background jazz. Comrie, good point. If Elon Musk wants to talk about getting us to Sigma 9, then I'm all on board. Actually, no, not with him. It did end up like the fuck. Have you seen Don't Look Up? What's the other one? Yeah, Don't Look Up. Well, I might spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, because it's at the end, so I won't say it. Well, let's just say Musk's chances of getting to Sigma 9 are perhaps even lower than Mars. Of course, it isn't within the solar system itself. I won't even go into the logistics of why it'd be so difficult for humans to escape the solar system and its relative vastness to our fragile and frail human bodies and equipment that would have to travel so fast that even if they just hit a small part of dust, would immediately destroy the entire vehicle. But next we're going to look at one of the campaigners. Like I said, some of the Recyclon team have been hit in the streets of Clacton. We're going to hear from one campaigner. This is Joseph Wells. Shout out to Joseph Wells. Good job on getting out there, getting your feet on the ground, and taking a bit of a respite from leafleting and door knocking to enjoy a particularly costly ice cream, as he's going to illustrate in this brief report. It's Joseph Wells. Apologies.
Just taking a quick second break after campaigning for Count Binface, and you might have noticed, or have you? Oh, I just purchased one of these from an ice cream van.
99.
Who doesn't love one of these? Well, have you thought about it? Because Count Binface, one of his policies is to cap these 99 flakes at 99p. How much do you think this cost me?
Oh, shit. I was going to pause and let you guess, but the subtitles have given it away. It was £3, yeah. £3 for the ice cream.
Just £3.
More than triple Binface's proposal.
Yes, £3. I actually purchased one the other day at somewhere else, and that price for that was about £3.50, and that was a bigger one. So this one alone, a standard size for being, you know, £3. I mean, imagine if they were capped at 99p. Would you love that? That's a 99 flake for you. So you know what to do. If you care about that and all the other policies, vote Count Binface next week, which is on the 13th of August.
Well done, well said. Yes, of course, price is utterly ridiculous. 99 pence for a 99 makes perfect logical sense. Hold on to Joseph there. Just one of the campaigners. I saw quite a few pictures. It looked like a good turnout, actually, down there in Clacton. I won't be giving the official My Left Eye prediction. There are still 4 days to go, so I dare say the topic will come up again on a Bruise at 10 live stream. Yeah, £3. But next, an announcement from Binface himself concerning a particular piece of Clacton heritage. Because the Recyclons are all about preservation, of course. Let's see what's happening at Naze Tower.
I have come to one of the greatest landmarks, not only in the Clacton constituency, but in the entire planet Earth. It is, of course, the wonderful Naze Tower. Now, you must get the correct vowel at the end of that. It is an E. If you put another one, it could end up with something rather different. But no.
Something like Nigel Farage.
Now, this is the Naze Tower. It's beautiful. It was constructed in 1720, not as a lighthouse, as many think, but actually as a navigation marker. And originally, it had a beacon on the top. It served in over 4 major wars.
See, we're learning as he's campaigning. It's fantastic. What can you learn from Nigel Farage? Nothing. You get negative IQ points. I'll come on to that in a moment.
Going right back to the Napoleonic era in the 19th century. It's 86 feet tall, and its octagonal structure makes it pretty much unique.
Fascinating.
In fact, some humans believe there is not a single tower like it in the entire planet, apart from this one here. Isn't it just incredible? But look, it might not last that long because of coastal erosion.
Coastal erosion, yes, climate change.
And yet it's only grade 2 listed. Well, if I can make Claudia Winkleman's Fringe grade 1 listed, we can make Naze Tower grade 1 as well. Before it ends up in the drink over there. But it's okay, because down there it's got some company, 55 million years worth of fossils, including shark's teeth. So get yourself down here, Naze Tower. If I happen to be the MP, I shall make this
grab a fossil.
One of my absolute key headquarters. But as for right now, it's the perfect spot for a bit of English summer tourism. What isn't to like? What isn't to like about Clacton? I love it.
Yeah, that would be excellent if he turned it into his base, the bin face tower. Let's hope. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Very informative campaign video there from Binface, of course, showing that he is aware of local issues, not just pointing out to sea in a xenophobic fashion, as his rival Farage does. Just going back to what I mentioned a moment ago during the video, just want to inform you now, quickly, before I forget. In terms of higher education, Clacton just happens to be the third least performing constituency in the entire country, in the entire UK. Yes, third worst in terms of further education. And I'm going to give you live viewers an opportunity, if you want to throw a guess at which MP might be the representative of the worst, number one on the list, the worst for higher education in the country. Who do you think it might be? Farage is third worst. Who's the worst? Won't give any clues. I'll just give you a moment or two, because somebody actually shared the full list on, I think it was Blue Sky, recently. It's very revelatory. Of course, we know the correlation and causation between low education and political views, with those on the right being the least educated. Any shouts in chat? Give you another moment or two. Farage is third worst. Which MP represents the worst in terms of higher education qualifications? Lee Anderson. Dominic Jones thinks it's Lee Anderson. Good shout, really good shouts. But no, it is in fact not William Pitt the Younger. Ogham. It says Binface is for the 1% in the poly market. Give him 1% chance. Nigel Farage gets 99%. Is that on poly market? Really? Don't really follow that too much, but well, we'll see. Anyway, the answer, people, is Richard Tice. Richard Tice represents the lowest out of higher education in the UK. Surprise, surprise. What was another surprise, but also a pleasant one, to see earlier today, Pilot released their flight pattern from a little trip out off the east coast of England, out from Clacton-on-Sea. This isn't a commercial airliner or anything like that. Don't worry, people. It's probably a light aircraft, single-engined plane. So this is the flight path. Did you see this one? In honour of the bin. That's excellent. That really is excellent. I've seen that happening with other people who plan the jogging routes to spell out certain things or make certain pictures. This is a new one. That's really good. Very accurate as well. Must be a pretty good pilot there. But of course, we were the nation that fended off the Fash in the air. Yeah, never before has so much been owed by so many to so few. You can say that in 1,000 years they would still say this was their finest hour. Excuse me, slightly dry air for a moment or two there in the air conditioning. We don't use air conditioning, obviously. Well done, that unnamed pilot. Which brings us, yes, onto the main element, the campaign song. Couldn't feature it on the last stream. There was a slight technical error with the version that we had, but we're pleased to be able, and we have double checked that it works. Haven't we, Phil? Yes, we're very pleased to be able to bring it to you tonight. We're not certain if we'll have to clip it out, trim it out after the stream ends. We'll see how certain people are feeling about that. But if it can stay, it will stay. Let's just put it that way. You might have heard it before. I've heard it before, but it's a good tune. And of course, it's a lively way to celebrate this by-election. So sing along if you can. Why not? Maybe have a bit of a dance if you're in a suitable environment, or not, or if you're physically able. But whatever you do, enjoy this Count Face campaign song. Bit of an earworm in itself from a 90s classic.
Counting face, and I've entered the race with Clacton's new MP. I'll spend more time with you than I promised to do in Washington, D.C. Unconditional gift with a curious wit, it's a mystery. One thing isn't in doubt, if you vote those guys out, we'll make history. And everybody sing, yeah. Alright.
Come on. Go thin face.
England needs a new hope. World Cup dreams up in smoke. Now the spotlight's here. Jaywick, Wheaty and Wicks, Kirby, Cross and Still. This could be your year. This election's a freak, but your chance is unique. Tell them loud and clear. Yeah. You want somebody new who will stand up for you and choose hope, not fear. And everybody sing, yeah.
Open face.
Alright, we're going to make Clacton clean. Tomorrow belongs to you and me. If you're red, green, yellow, blue, there's still something you can do. Clacton is a special place, so cast your vote for me. I'm counting
too loud. The neighbours have been complaining. You just watch your steps, Sonny.
Bloody Babylon. Well, let's not let that put us off, people. Let's keep riding that high. Because we have not quite a hot seat, a simmering seat, maybe a lukewarm seat, but a council by-election here in Manchester. And in the local by-election, in the local election in May, this was voting success for the Green Party, who got about 40% more of the vote share than Labour did. Reform were pushed down to third or fourth place, I believe, in Burnage. However, there is going to be a by-election with a new candidate who's been announced as Daoud Nawaz, so good luck to Daoud. But it certainly seems that Burnage, which is sort of southeast side of Manchester, won't be changing its mind on which party it's going to back, with a solid win there in the locals. So that announcement came in this week for any super serious Northwest politics nerds. That's your fix for the week. But how are things looking overall in terms of polling? Because according to this one, things are getting even worse for Reform. Burnham, of course, still in his honeymoon period, as it were, but they are in recess, so nothing major happening at the moment. Burnham's sort of going on a bit of a, well, it's a photo op tour, really, of the UK to hear people's concerns, he says, but whether he'll choose to act on them, of course, will remain to be seen. Just looks like a series of photo ops, like I said. But according to this, it would be a bit of a different outlook if there was a general election at the moment, with Labour still down significantly with 142 seats, but coming out with the most seats overall. The Tories, according to this Lord Ashcroft poll, receiving something of a revival with 72 seats, which of course would correlate with Reform's demise. But you can see there the SNP would then be the third party with a significant drop-off there. 49 seats, regaining 40 of the losses in 2024, followed by Reform, who would have but 37 seats. Of course, we've seen an amount of ridiculous polls from Find Out Now, etc., over the last, 18 months, 2 years, saying that they get up to, 400 seats, this sort of thing now. According to this Lord Ashcroft poll, they would have to settle for just 37, which would be a rise, but nowhere near the amount previously predicted. Lib Dem down, according to this, with 36, halving the number. That might also account for the Tories' gains as well, of course. The Green Party next with 23 seats will, of course, be hoping that they manage to get quite a larger slice of the pie than that come the next general election. Still would be a gain of 19, of course, and then Plaid Cymru with 12, which would be a gain of 8. I think that's right, according to the colour charts. Some of the colours pretty indistinct from one another there. Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. I would certainly think that the Greens might get more. Some of the polling says that Zach Polanski and the Greens polling's dipped slightly lately, but a lot of the polls are all over the place at the moment, with Burnham sort of throwing the cat amongst the pigeons for now. We'll just have to see how things settle, as I believe it becomes more and more obvious that he's just continuation Starmer, who was continuation Blair, who's continuation Thatcher. What's this you can... What? Read this. Okay. Andy Burnham's daughter is married to... What's... Ewan Blair? Really? Is that true? Andy Burnham's daughter is married to Ewan Blair. Well, what do you make of this poll, anyway, people? It does seem that calls for a snap election have now ceased somewhat, coming from Reform. Do you think, as is speculated by some elements of the mainstream media, that Andy Burnham might carpe diem and actually call a snap election before the end of the year? We've heard this speculated, I think, on Newsnight, which I've seen a couple of clips of over the last couple of days. They had Ash Sarkar on, of course, from Navara Media as well, who's always excellent on the mainstream as well. But what do you think about a snap election and this poll? Snap election, given the fact that this new advantage might not last very long, I think Andy Burnham will be aware of that. His tactic really has got to be getting away with as much as he can in the next 2.5 years, whatever, before the next general election, but still maintaining a lead in the polls over either the Tories or Reform. There are going to be cuts, there's going to be more defence spending, we already know that. How far he's going to go with other issues remains to be seen, but suffice to say, My Left Eye will be watching and reporting. So with about, just over 4.5 months left in the year, could he try and gain a legitimate mandate? Something else that's been going around is the potential of a Labour, SNP and Green coalition to keep Reform out. I don't really buy that. I would hope that Polanski would stand by his word and not do any deals with Labour. He has mentioned that in the past. I'm not sure if he actually went even broader and said other parties or any other parties, but definitely specifically Labour, because they're crap. Yeah, and he certainly doesn't want to be like the Lib Dems were to the Tories in that coalition, of course, when Nick Clegg sold his party out and the country. Yeah, Connery, good point about the SNP and that sort of hypothetical coalition there. I think that's another reason why it won't stand as well. Good point. Of course, they've got this mutually assured independence pact at the moment, as it were, with with Wales, and rightly so, of course, both nations deserving their independence. The decision perhaps to rejoin the EU with it. Both countries, of course, have the reasons. Yeah, you're right there as well, Comrie. The matter shouldn't be pushed aside. Certainly wouldn't get my hopes up where Andy Burnham's concerned with that. Sorry, it's just scrolling through the live chat on the other screen. For a moment. But we'll move on now. What's next on the agenda? We've got Placard Power next, I think. Yes. Placard Power. Just a brief episode. This is where we keep an eye on the right wing and, well, protest fails, that sort of thing. Failed Vox Pops. It's a protest fail this time from recent protests outside HMOs. So let's see what's happening this time. It'll just be a quick one. But it's still quality.
It's a quality item, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you a frustrated racist who's blindingly unaware of how wealthy grifters are pitting you against migrants and British-born citizens who aren't white? Do you want to pretend that you're a concerned citizen and that every legal asylum seeker is some kind of sex predator as a thinly veiled cover for your blatant far-right views? Then do we have the campaign for you? Placard Power. Grab a marker, grab some cardboard, attach it to a plank of wood, and bang. You're good to go. Spelling, don't worry about that.
Punctuation? Forget it. That's for woke tranny students. Here at Placard Power, we welcome the illiterate. Dictionaries? Do one. Checking on a computer or phone? No thanks.
However the words sound in your dumb fascist head, just write them down like that, and in no time at all, you'll be spreading your message to the masses. It's easy, it's simple. Isn't that right, Captain Placard?
You bet your bigoted arse it is. Placard Power. Join today.
Membership costs £79.99 per month. All transfers to be sent directly to Tommy Robinson, care of Benjamin Netanyahu, Tel Aviv, Israel.
Yeah, that intro never gets old. But what's it about this time? Look at this. Fucking hell. Yeah, they showed up outside HMO, atypical far-right dickheads outside, and this was apparently yeah. I'm not sure if this is a mock-up or whatever, but the demonstration itself was a complete fail as well. Has that guy got a Reform UK vest on? They do vests as well. Looked pretty real. And you really wouldn't be surprised, would you? So the usual expected levels of literacy, or illiteracy, as it were, on the demonstration. Only they could get so enthusiastic about overthrowing the actual enemy that is capitalism and those who come on yachts, not small boats. There's a bowling ball in the background. Try that one again. There's a bowling ball in the background on the right. Is there? Or are you referring to the person? Right, yeah. Figurative. Got the knight there as well, yeah. I need to save him from Prince Andrew. Yeah. I don't know, let's zoom in a bit. Well, it's got shadows and things. It's try and focus on the word R, not R. I don't know, it looks pretty legit to me. No community notes on the source either, thus far. Yeah, I was looking for a bowling ball as well. A figurative one, I was. Just remember again what I was saying about low IQs in higher education performance. Another case in point there, perhaps. So that was in, was it Brighton or Bristol? I'm known to get the two mixed up. Yeah, and proofreading costs so little but saves so much. They sent that off to the printer, and the printers went, "Are you certain? Exactly like this, exactly how it's written on the back of the cigarette packet on the counter?" Yeah, mate, it's got to be exactly like that. To the letter. That's what a boss says. Okay. Is that cash or card, love? Fucking hell. Yeah, I know they're nowhere near each other, Brighton and Bristol. It's the BRs. I know where each of the two are. If something happens in one of the places, I'll have to just like check again. Totally different accents as well, of course. But on occasion. We'll see where the next comedic error comes from. Far rights. But up next, people, we'll see how Angela Rayner's getting along, or perhaps isn't, in a house building venture. Of course, we're assured that just because of her personal confidence in herself, that she can achieve the £1.5 million home target that was set by the predecessors. We have our reservations, let's put it that way. And she's not gotten off to a good start down in the capital, in Tower Hamlets in London. For quite some time now, local residents have been campaigning for more social housing. That's been rejected, of course, by Angela Rayner of Ashton Underline, not too far away from where this broadcast is happening at the moment. So yeah, she's given the residents of Brick Lane two fingers, and instead, not only are these houses not being built, the space is going to be taken up by a fucking data centre. Let's see what's happening with this report. We've got a couple of videos here from The Canary. Go and subscribe.
So we're here today because of Angela Rayner overruling Tower Hamlets Council to build a data centre in the middle of Brick Lane. And that's a massive injustice to the people that live here, just because of the fact that a data centre is going to raise housing prices, it's going to create noise pollution, and it's also cancelling a council plan that was going to create hundreds of new homes here, where there's 30,000 on the waiting list for social housing. Now, I'm here because as a Filipino,
people.
This is an issue that...
And is that just in Tower Hamlets alone? 30,000 people on the waiting list.
Is becoming more and more apparent to us back home, just because there's a proposed government plan called Paxilica that's going to build a data center in the Philippines that's going to use up 4,000 acres of land to build a data center.
4,000 fucking acres. This is getting beyond ridiculous. We just don't have the capacity or the water. There isn't enough water, perhaps in the world, for these maniacal plans for data centers and artificial intelligence. These people developing these projects are absolute lunatics. No wonder the people of Tower Hamlets are outraged. It's beyond disgusting.
Center that's really going to be used for U.S. military war production. So we can recognize that the struggles of my people back home, it's connected to the struggles here, which is essentially a democratic issue. Why are data centers being built here, being built in the Philippines for the service of profit, for the service of these politicians, for these tech CEOs, getting more money in their pocket, while local people will have to deal with the loss of sovereignty and the loss of control over where their land is being used. And that's why we're here to support the campaign for Safe Brick Lane, and also to raise the issues regarding the Philippines and the Paxilica project back home.
Angela Rayner, the Minister for Housing and Local Government, has taken the decision to grant Truman Brewery planning permission to put a data centre on Brick Lane. Our group, Nidra Manush, has been fighting this as part of the Save Brick Lane campaign with a coalition of different groups for years now, and we wanted over 300 homes to be built on Brick Lane, which we found to be possible here on this site. And the decision was taken away from the local government, who rejected these plans.
What do you plan to do next?
So we're holding a meeting, an open meeting on Monday to decide on the next steps.
Listen up, people. Listen up. Viewers in London, hope you can get down to this tomorrow.
We're doing that together with the community. So sign up to join the meeting. It's at 6 o'clock at the Brady Arts Centre in London.
6 o'clock, the Brady Arts Centre in London, if that's familiar to you. If not, just get on the internet and find out more from the organisation. Hope you can make it, because things like this won't stand. Tower Hamlets is just one example. Of course, this would spread out to wider areas of London and the UK as well. It's a sort of capitalist endemic at the moment, without any regard whatsoever for the current climate crisis, let alone the housing crisis and the will of the residents there in London. So 6 o'clock, Brady Arts Centre. If you can get down there tomorrow, please do. Please let us know what you'd hear. That's a bit of a trek for us, unfortunately. I'm not certain if a couple of people who I know in person will be attending. Might have to chase that up. But get back to us if you do manage to get down to Brady Arts Centre 6 o'clock in that there London. But sticking with climate, going to be adding this one, the full version, to my watch list because Kevin Anderson was recently in conversation with Novara Media, and regular viewers will know that Kevin Anderson is a scientist who I greatly admire, former government advisor. He's also the director of the Tyndall Centre, which is here in Manchester. I've had the pleasure of hosting him on one occasion. I've seen him speak on quite a few occasions now. Also, the full interview is almost 2 hours long. I think it's going up to 1 hour and 50, so I don't have time to play the full lots on tonight's stream, of course. This is just a short excerpt, but the full public version is available now. There's a link in the description of this stream for Double Down News if you want to go and follow it. As per anything pertaining to climate, I suggest you pay heed to what Professor Kevin has to say. Here's just a snippet about what we face, and then we're going to see another foreboding statistic that has reached the UK just this week.
I don't know how we would hold to less than 2. Some of my colleagues don't like me saying that, but I think it's important that I go by what my conclusions are and say them clearly, however uncomfortable they may be. I don't know how at a global level we can reduce emissions fast enough to align with the science that says we're going to hold below 2 degrees centigrade of warming. I think 2 degrees centigrade is about doable. We'll come on to this later, I'm sure, but that would require revolutionary changes in so many facets of modern society.
You've actually got some data on that, and we'll go to it in a minute, and it ain't happening, if I'm totally honest.
Well, no, it isn't. No,
in terms of you're saying it's revolutionary.
So this is whether we can stay below 1.5 degrees of average global temperature rise. I wholeheartedly agree with Kevin. That's completely out of the window. 2 degrees of average global temperature rise is arguably out of the window as well. And that's where the serious tipping points start to come in more severely and at a faster rate, as we're seeing already, literally, just prior to entering the 5th heat wave, which is going to hit us next week.
Revolutionary. I mean,
it absolutely isn't happening, and I'm someone who thinks it will not happen, but I think it will not happen. I don't know it won't happen. History is awash with people who claim they knew what was going to happen, and they're almost always wrong. So I think we have to sort of step back. There's a bit too much hubris, a bit too much arrogance that we know what's going to happen. We know what's likely.
Yeah.
We don't know it's certain. If we knew it was certain, I'd just go off cycling and rock climbing and saying, well, I'm not going to work on this issue.
Not so fast, obvious second account that can, again, suspiciously type in lowercase.
I don't particularly enjoy working on it. I might as enjoy myself.
I'm not talking about Kevin Anderson there, by the way. That's actually something that was going on in chat, but now isn't.
I'll make hay while the sun shines.
Sorry, I'll skip it back there. Sorry about the interruption. Again, I did put it on a 30-minute timeout. Apparently, seeking revenge so viscerally, air quotes, revenge, against Darren was prepared to wait.
Arrogance that we know what's going to happen. We know what's likely.
Yeah.
We don't know it's certain. If we knew it was certain, I'd just go off cycling and rock climbing and saying, well, I'm not going to work on this issue. I don't particularly enjoy working on it. I might as well enjoy myself, make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah, the sort of defeatist attitude. But he doesn't have
whilst there is a thin thread
do I.
of possibility that we could actually pull back from the brink, then it's worth pursuing.
And that's the important part. Professor Sir David King, what would this be? At least 4 years ago, said the next 2 to 3 years will determine the future of humanity, and we've passed that point. We've failed to even at least reach our legally binding actions that we promised at summits and whatnot. But there is still a thread of hope. that we can take action, because we're talking about billions of lives being at risk here. You can go back through other content in the channel. If you just type Kevin Anderson's name, you'll see him pop up a few times. You can also go to his excellent channel as well. That's called Climate Uncensored. Lots of data. If you want the very latest on climate data, he's certainly one of the people to go to, and it was an absolute pleasure to host Kevin along with Bill Maguire back in that'd have been September 22. And I'm going to be watching that full interview, that's for sure. As terrifying as it is, you do have to acknowledge the truth. And we've got another uncomfortable truth here in England. Which we need, again, mass action on. A few fines here and there aren't going to cut it. Of course, this would have used to have been Ed Miliband's watch. But now all of England's rivers and lakes are polluted with chemicals. Rivers were on the verge for some time. Now you can add lakes to that one, so that's every single one in England. It's green and pleasant land. Air quotes. So they will remain in a challenging state, the article says, with only around 1 in 7 classed as being in good ecological condition, according to the first comprehensive assessments of their health in 6 years. And no single waterway passed a separate test by the regulator for chemical pollution. The Environment Agency said this is because legacy substances such as heavy metals and so-called forever chemicals are building up. Its chair acknowledged the country's waterways were below standards, but said it was increasing enforcement action to tackle other issues like sewage spills. Data from the EA shows that while 15% of rivers are classed as good, fewer than 7% of lakes reach that level. The biggest individual problem is phosphate, a nutrient from sewage and farm runoff, with around half of rivers still exceeding safe levels. Despite a record $22 billion earmarked for water company environmental improvements by 2030, the overall picture has changed little since 2019. So it's the first time they've been tested in 6 years. I'm particularly shocked by that. $22 billion. Other types of pollution affecting the water bodies include petrol, garden pesticides and contaminated water running off roads, picking up microplastics and chemicals. The regulator said some chemicals are challenging to tackle as they do not easily break down and begin to accumulate. That's why they call them forever chemicals. Of course, Professor Penny Jones, leading water scientist at the University of Bristol, told the BBC it was also a failure to regulate effectively, bit of an in-joke there, the new chemicals entering rivers. She pointed to forever chemicals known as PFAS and antibiotics, many of which not routinely monitored. There are currently 23 enforcement notices against water companies requiring them to lower the levels of PFAS to reduce the danger to human health. God, we're all fucked, aren't we? Fucking hell. highlighted the irony of this happening in a temperate zone known for its rainfall as well. Other elements of the drought. Of course, this is just disgusting as a result of pollutive capitalism, lack of regulation, the fact that these people can just literally pay to be able to dump sewage. And now not a single one of them in the green and pleasant land is classed as clean. Shocking. Darren, you wanted to take... your son wanted to take the dog to the local park, to the local river, and you wouldn't let them. Yeah, that's how bad it is. You wouldn't want even your dogs drinking from rivers or lakes in the country. Seen some shocking pictures as well of how quickly the reservoirs are drying up as well. Bev, welcome to the stream. Solidarity. Be having a good Socialist Sunday. Pomri, you're worried that England's going to go and raid the Welsh water sources. You certainly wouldn't put it past them, would you? So not the chirpiest of final main items on the stream, but you come here for the truth and the laughs. That's the wrong. No, they're not members. Well, some might be. That's the one. That one. That one. Don't worry, got him told. Seriously though, thank you very much to all the members on My Left Eye. Thanks for gifteds, thanks for renewing your own memberships, super chats, super stickers, all of your recent contributions, as always, much appreciated. If you're catching up with us later on, please remember that super thanks are available on the Buy Me a Coffee page as well, if you're unable to help us out via YouTube. So you might be able to hear some sporadic fireworks going off. I don't know what's particularly significant about 23 minutes past 10 on this particular Sunday, but apparently enough to celebrate. Maybe, again, some fans of the channel just giving us a strong send-off. If so, we do appreciate that if you're listening from Manchester. Don't worry, the police will be here soon. I know how this goes. So you'll hear the screeching and then the sirens. Where was I? Yes. Just thanks again for all of the support, appreciation. Give us a share on social media. Do check out the latest content on your mobile devices and share some hype points as well. You're a top bunch.
Socialists. Oh my god.
I'm having a bit of a peruse for who can pass on to next. For anybody in marathon mode, which I know a lot of you often fancy. Let's see what we can raid into. Whilst I'm doing that as well, hit the notification button if you've never done so before, and we'll be catching up with you with the Brews at 10 next week. Well, we actually have someone who was in the chats on this very stream just a bit earlier, so we're going to raid over the Atlantic into Left of the Box. Yeah, let's show some solidarity there. I think we raided into Helena last time, so let's spread it out a bit as well. Hit thumbs up, do subscribe to Left of the Box. Be keeping us up to speed with things in the States. Awesome stuff. Stick around as well, actually. You might have noticed a few tinkering changes, intros, outros, that sort of thing. Lately, we've got another one or two of those coming up here and on the Brews at 10 as well. Ever forward, ever progressing, ever increasing the quality. But we hope you've had a quality weekend, and it's been a pleasure to see it out with you here on the stream. All that remains for me to say is solidarity to everybody. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Free Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan and Yemen. Don't watch the news, be the news. And my left eye will be seeing you soon. Good night, everybody. Power to the people.
Gli americani sono molto fortunati perché dovunque vanno per esportare la libertà trovano il petrolio.
Pakistan, Yemen, Iraq. Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Iraq. I don't care if I ever come back. I don't care if I ever come back. From poor families, how far we roam. From poor families, how far we roam. So the rich kids can just stay at home. So the rich kids can just stay at home. When I come home with PTSD. When I come home with PTSD. The VA hospital won't care for me. The VA hospital won't care for me. I'll probably end up homeless out in the dark. I'll probably end up homeless out in the dark. To get played on screen by Marky Mark.
I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. You know, and I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12 way down the line, but I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends, you know.